Thank you, Millicent. Liverpool maintained their 100% start to the season by beating Leicester City 2-1, despite a comical mistake from Alisson. Chelsea made it 4 wins from 4 games under Maurizio Sarri after a 2-0 victory over Bournemouth. Glenn Murray scored 2 second-half goals as Brighton fought back from a 2-goal deficit to draw with Fulham. Danny Ings and Pierre-Emile Joberg scored as Southampton secured their first win of the season. Kyle Walker's brilliant second-half strike preserved champions Manchester City's unbeaten start to the season. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur striker Son Heung-min's professional career has received a boost in the form of military exemption when South Korea won the Asian Games gold today. Substitute Lee Seung-hoo and Hwang Hee-chan scored in extra time after a barren regulation time to help South Korea retain their title with a 2-1 victory against arch rivals Japan. Back home in Nigeria, the Football Federation (NFF) has confirmed that the national preliminaries of the 2018 FA Cup will begin on Wednesday, September the 5th. The NFF second vice president Shehu Diko said the competition, tagged Aiteo Cup, will kick off with a rookies elimination where non-league clubs are expected to compete. Diko also revealed that NPFL clubs will be seeded, while the final will hold on October the 14th. The winner of the Aiteo Cup will represent Nigeria at the 2019 CAF Confederations Cup. An Algerian club, MC Algiers, have sacked head coach Bernard Cassoni with immediate effect. This followed the failure of the team to get past the group stage of the CAF Champions League. Things turned sour for the French tactician after MC Algiers suffered a shock home defeat against better rivals Etienne Setif in the final group game of the continent's elite competition. The club also terminated the appointment of General Manager Kamel Said. And that's all on sports news. Millicent is back right now.
Thank you, Kaide. Palestinian officials have condemned the United States' decision to end all funding to the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency. Washington has been the largest donor to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, but now says the organization is irredeemably flawed. Palestinian president spokesman has called the move a flagrant assault against the Palestinian people.
The United States announcement that it will no longer support the United Nations Relief and Works Agency on Palestine refugees has deepened the cash crisis at the agency and heightened tensions with the Palestinian leadership. The 68-year-old agency provides services to about 5 million Palestinian refugees across Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and the West Bank and Gaza.
It's a deeply regrettable decision because, make no mistake, some of the most disadvantaged, marginalised and vulnerable people on this planet are likely to suffer. 526,000 children who receive an education every day from UNRWA, 1.7 million food insecure people, 1 million of whom are in Gaza, 3.5 million people who come to our primary health clinics for medical attention. They are the people who are most likely to suffer because of this highly regrettable decision.
The agency will now ask existing donors for more money and seek new sources of income. The United Nations, by far its biggest donor, slashed funding earlier this year, paying out only $60 million of a first installment in January and withholding $65 million. It had promised $365 million for the whole year. Washington says the agency needs to make unspecified reforms and called on the Palestinians to renew peace talks with Israel.
I suggest a gradual conversion of all funds going to UNRWA to other agencies to deal with the question of refugees and actually have criteria. This will not this will not have negative effects, it will have positive effects, because the perpetuation of the dream of bringing the descendants of refugees back to Jaffa is what sustains this conflict.
The last Palestinian-Israeli peace talks collapsed in 2014, partly because of Israel's opposition to an attempted unity pact between the Fatah and Hamas Palestinian factions and to Israeli settlement building on occupied land that Palestinians seek for a state.
And the main news again. Muhammadu Buhari, the president, today arrived in Beijing. This is to participate in the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, during which Nigeria is to sign at least 25 MOUs with China, including $328 million ICT infrastructure backbone agreement. Also today, the opposition People's Democratic Party faulted President Buhari over his comment on Nigerians embarking on illegal migration to Europe. The party described the statement as out of place, says government has a responsibility to stop illegal migration through good governance. And Palestinian officials today condemned the decision by the U.S. to end all funding to the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency, with the Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas describing it as a flagrant assault. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Have a good night.